Hey guys, this is Feral Crafter, and this is Farming Simulator 19. This is a tutorial on manipulating the ground, or landscaping. So, I have come to the conclusion, when I first started, I wanted everything flat, 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 flat. And it turns out that there's glitches on this, on every map. For example, right here, even if you take down that tree, you cannot lower that ground anywhere. And if you watch my main video, you'll actually see that there is quite a few glitches and you don't learn about them until after. I complain a lot about the glitches and where they happen. And the only way I know about it is when I go chopping through the land and trying to flatten it or smooth it, and there's areas that just won't. And hindsight's 20/20. So how do you deal with it, as opposed to wasting like hundreds of thousands of dollars and sculpting the land only to find out you've got some divot, some mountain that you have to now work around, like flushing this one out. How would you do that? This is a hell of a climb, it's hell of a steep. Well, hindsight's 20/20. So this is a game, even though a lot of people want to believe it's realistic. It's not. It's a game. So we autosave intervals turned off, so that once you're ready to start, you turn off the save, and then you just go for it. And when you find the divot, you can just cancel, quit out, lose your progress, keep your money. And then you have hindsight of 20/20. You come back, and then you flatten and smooth it out as necessary. So this land here is actually relatively flat. It's not perfectly flat, but I've found that rolling hills are decent. Now, this slope going down is fine, but that is not. So the plan is to make better farming area, even though it's not flat. So there's a tree over there, but let's get to it. I have found that the smaller of the landscaping tools is actually a bit better. And the goal is to go from an altitude that you like. Now, raising and lowering is just, it's a disaster. I'm going to stick with flattening and smoothing. So first off, we're going to be flattening, and we're going to set our altitude from here and flatten across. Then go a little higher, flatten across. And then once we're done taking this bump out, this, you can see it sticks out. We want to smooth this so that we can get our tools over it, so this can be arable land, very farmable. And it's both fingers. So it's tough. It's more of an art form than anything else to really just... And when you're doing this minor modification, you're saving a lot of money, because if you just flatten the land, you'll chew through hundreds of thousands of dollars at once. And it's hard to tell exactly where things are. But the plan is just to make things a plateau and nice and even with this land here. Although this land is a little lower, kind of goes up and down. So let's keep going, shall we? And once we're done here, we will smooth it out. And the goal is just to start from a decent area and bring it across. I will swing around from different angles to also flatten. From here, that would just destroy the ramp. So we want to also, this is a nice decent area here, bring that down a little, bring that up a little, So it's kind of working the ground back and forth. So as you see, I still have my 300 grand here. And we're not going to go all the way down there, but let's see if we can't take a little more off. I'm afraid to even use it. So expensive. Alright, let's try from here. Flatten that out a little. From here, flatten it out a little. From here, flatten it out. And this area is actually kind of raised up. So it really is like an artistic, as opposed to autistic, endeavor to really get the thing nice and even. And I wish I had some sort of like feedback. That would be awesome. I could just sculpt it like clay. Alright, now we switch to smoothing, which is the center wheel. Let's get back to it. Yes, that's the button. Smoothing, you want to go as big as possible. And it makes this nice little divot area well rounded. As in, you can pull your tools through this, the plows and everything else, to have a nice even amount of ground. And I hate the shrubs. They're so annoying to look through. But there you go. And we've spent, I don't know, a few thousand. Not epic amount of money though. There we go. Flattening it out. There's times when I will plow a land, do everything I need to, and I come back to find out I didn't smooth it out good enough. So I need to come back through, spend more money, plow, throw down more fertilizer, and everything else. So there we go. We now have nice smooth area. Now it's not flat, but it's flat-ish. It's nice and farming flat. I'm trying to. It's not a horizontal flat, but it's flat. That's the lingo. So now you can pull a plow through here. You can plant through here, and we did not spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to get this nice. So that area is now able to be turned into a field. A second example is this. From the right side, you see the path. To the left side is the road. This is area we own from the start. Now, I spent some money and bought the land to the right side of that path. But even though I bought the land to the right side of the path, I only want to mess with this on the left side. So as you can see, the road goes down, the path goes up, and we want to find some middle ground between it. And the difference between the two is actually pretty severe. I have already spent a good 2 hours taking down each tree that's over here. That way, the land is not going to say, hey, you can't modify it because you've got a little stump here. So as you see, my little stump ripper there. So let's get to it. I'm going to now modify that land. And now to manipulate the ground. So I want to go back to the small, not really the smallest, but rather small, and we want to flatten. So that's the 2 mouse buttons, and we want to flatten between. I'm going to feather it. So I will start going here, but it'll travel more along the road further and further just to get that slope down. And I probably should have taken that tree down, but oh well, hindsight 2020, as I said before. So yeah, let's go the smallest. Ooh, that's digging right in. I wish there was an undo on this, because a lot of times I'm just like, oops. And this game is not forgiving on oopses at all, and it bothers me severely. I'm like, I want to undo. The hell? Ah, at least I'm able to work through that. all my tracks are up there hovering around. And the problem with this is the size of the alterations is costing me money to just work it back and forth. I'm making a massive crater here, and I don't mean to. And that's where a lot of expenses come. You just go back and forth, upping the land, lowering the land. And this tool is actually relatively hard to deal with, getting it just right. And as you can see, I've already burned through 30,000. And so you can switch to smoothing. Probably should have done that first to get rid of the shrubs. See what I'm working on. And that path can't be moved, and the road can't be moved. And even though you own right up to the road and up to the path, you can't modify it. So the smoothing is kind of like a nice little clean reset. So I'm going to continue to use smaller and smaller to get in between here. So I want to go back to the smaller tool here and get back to continuing to level it out. So from the path, like I'd want to undo that, but I can't. Yeah, there's no undo. You know, once an oops, always an oops. So the tool is not that user-friendly. It's rather difficult. Or I just suck. Gah. Burning cash going back and forth with this stuff. Alright, let's go back and let's smooth this out. And the land is just sloped just nice enough, maybe not over here, but nice enough here to be another field. So if you want to do some little thing, you can. A little patch of, I don't know, wheat, barley. Too bad you can't just put in herbs. That'd be awesome. Be like, oh, this is going to be my oregano patch, so people come around the corner and smell oregano. So as you can see, maybe you can't see. So here's the road, or the path going up, and I've smoothed it down to the road. So the path makes it a lot more extreme and tough. So I'm not too sure how to go about doing that. But you could take the edge off of the mountain here, which gets to be a very big peak. And this could be a way to give you more land. So hopefully that helped. And definitely saved a lot of money. It was only some $35,000 to do this area here, and like $10,000 over there. So for $40,000, you now have a lot more land you can work. And the idea is not to make it horizontally flat, just to smooth it out and make it farming flat. So you can get your plows, your tools, your cultivators, and all the rest in and out of this area without being stuck on hills or craters, etc. So that's it. Thank you for watching, and I hope to catch you guys later.